Welcome to Rockford, Illinois for the Division I National Championship. We're about to announce the teams. They'll come in through the tunnel, and we'll get going here. My name is Dave Mengen. I'm joined by coach of Team USA, Joe Delagrave. Welcome, Joe.
Good to be here, man. We're packed. We got. You're good. Yeah, you're good to go. You're good to go. Hopefully, no one starts on fire. Jason Regier, coach of the Denver Harlequins and Denmark's national team. AJ Colton, Adam Scaturo.
Drew Hoffman's mustache.
As they're announcing the teams, this is a rematch from our last national championship that we had in 2019.
Yep. 3 years ago, the last time we had a national championship, right?
A couple players have changed. Denmark had a different player over here, Sebastian,
right.
Another 3-5, and then with U of A, they had Daisuke from Japan, and then Chad Cohn was playing with them as well. So a little bit different of a lineup for both teams.
So U of A earned their trip here by upset, right? By beating Texas.
Yeah, they upset Texas yesterday. Played probably their best game of the tournament.
For sure.
You could say that when they win, right? But yeah, they knocked off Texas. I think Texas was heavily favored to end up in the championship game. Played really well. Their low pointers played really well yesterday. Chris Fleece as a .5, Travis Baker and Lee Fredette 1-5 and 1 respectively. And if they're going to stay in this game, their low pointers have to show up, have to be able to set picks, make some tricks on the court today.
Well, Puderbaugh and Wheeler played a much better game yesterday, too, than they did in the previous one that we called. So it'll be nice to see how they gel and how Denver matches up against them, which lines are run. I know you had a conversation with the Arizona coach about lines because we saw some pretty good matchups against Texas. They kind of figured out which line ran best against which Texas line.
Yeah, talked to some of the guys at the hotel last night, talking to Josh Wheeler this morning, and you know, I'd suspect to see that their balance line's going to come out with Chuck Melton and Chris Fleece, but I'm not sure what exactly they decided on. And Denver's going to start what they've started all tournament with their balance. Chuck Aoki as a 3, Jake Daly 2-5, Eric Newby 2, and then AJ as a .5. And sure enough, U of A is going to start their balance too. If I'm Aoki and Jason Regier as a coach, I probably am going to put a different lineup in against this guy. So it's a chess match going back and forth.
Right.
U of A likes this. There's probably a better lineup for Denver that can match up with this defensively and offensively with Adam and Jason Regier playing. So I suspect they're going to get in the game pretty quickly.
It'll be good to see. We're excited. Referees come over, pounding the rocks.
And we've got Joe Bongiovanni on as a ref and Marianne Duda on as well.
And it'll be Melton and Newby, former teammates in St. Louis, on the jump.
I love Marianne. She's a Cubs fan too, so I've been getting a lot of flack for
Me
my
too.
Cubs
I'm a
sweatshirt.
Cubs fan. I lived in Chicago for a year.
Let's go Cubbies.
Looks like even Denver believes that Melton's going to win this jump.
We've got a St. Louis jump going on here. They've probably done this a few times back in their St. Louis Ram days.
Yes, they have. Well, in practices.
I think Eric Newby's little daughter probably wins the cuteness award for this national championship.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen her around here.
Yeah, adorable.
Do the same thing.
Yeah, it's U of A's strong suit isn't necessarily the key. This is their better line for key offense. With Corey running the ball, they've had Corey run the ball all week long here in Rockford, and I'm guessing he's going to handle the ball here. And he's got two decent posts there with great hands and height there, and Josh and Chuck.
So we'll get Melton inbounding here to Puderball.
But yeah, you want to get a clean first quarter, stay in the game if you're U of A, use your timeouts if you need to, but no unforced turnovers.
Wheeler's in there. Puderball gets to him and then pushes him across. Foul there. Jake Daly got his hand in, but doesn't matter. It's at the line. Gets the penalty try.
So on the line today, Denver has not won a national championship since 2007. Their only national championship in Division I. And U of A won the last national championship in 2019. They went back-to-back, so this could be their third in a row if they win today.
With a 2-year break, but yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate we had to cancel nationals 2 years ago just before it happened, and obviously we didn't have a season last year, so this is big for us. It's big to be able to get back and have a national championship, have a full season. We expect an even fuller season next season.
That's a great job there from Corey Pudebar. He had to inbound because of where he's trapped. Got a good inbound in, got off the pick, was able to score. We are packed in court 8 here in this back room in Rockford at UW Sports Factory.
As Aoki brings it up, we got a full house. Everybody in the building is in this room. Chuck streaks down the court all by himself. So Denver leads 3-2.
And right away, it's
Go ahead.
right away it's Arizona's doing a good job. University of Arizona's doing a good job of maintaining the pace. If you're Denver, you want to speed the game up, go, and get U of A to try to play a little too fast. And they're doing a really good job of slowing the game down. And this is why they started this line, the balance line. You're going to see Lee Fredette play. You're going to see Travis Baker come on and play, but they're going to slow the game down in the first quarter and play really good offense, methodical offense. And,
so far, it's been effective.
Yeah.
Making Denver do some work to get across half, especially get across the try line there. Now Wheeler looking for Pudebar, but finds Melton instead. And back to Wheeler, who will tap it ahead.
It's a good job by Chuck Melton there. He's
and a nice pick by Wheeler there to seal the key.
Yeah, he could have thrown it deep right away. Corey was yelling for it. He didn't like it. He said nope, and then made the smart pass. It's good job being patient there.
And the communication is nice too.
Yes.
Wheeler's going to force the pass if he can.
For U of A right now too, you want to get Jake Daly. You want to get Eric Newby to touch the ball. You don't want the ball to go through Aoki's hands. When it goes through that, it's pretty easy offense for them. So you're trying to get the ball out of Aoki's hands, which is not an easy task, but hasn't really happened yet. But that's what they're trying to do defensively. And Chris Fleece picking up where
he jumped in, but
picking up where he left off yesterday. He had a really good game yesterday against Texas, and specifically with his inbounds, and he just inbounded a great one there to Corey. And
definitely a difference maker in that upset.
Yeah.
Aoki patiently trying to see if he can get Puderball to commit one way or the other before crossing half. Now he'll duck around the corner. Newby over the line. That's a turnover.
I think, we'll see a replay on that. Hopefully, I think what happened there is Newby didn't know where the end line is. He just rolled right out of bounds.
Yeah, he was trying to seal that off so that Melton couldn't get there.
And in this game, you can't roll over the try line without the ball or it's a penalty. You'll see it right here. First turnover of the game, and Newby's going backwards, which is honestly one of his weaknesses. He goes backwards probably a little too much, in my opinion. And tough turnover there that they definitely want to get back. But
that the first turnover of the game, right? So Arizona will set up here, try and attack the key.
And when you get into a game where it's back and forth, it's that tennis match thing where you're just hitting the ball over the net. Your best offensive line sometimes becomes your best defensive line because they're just so methodical and smart offensively as Eric takes a spill.
Corey took him
Hopefully he's
across
all
the
right.
line
Well,
with the ball.
He got his hand stuck in Corey's lap for a reach, and
He went
paid
after
for
the
it
ball, and Corey kept pushing.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a great angle too.
Yeah,
Gets
so
his
maybe
arm in
gets
there.
His arm in there.
Corey helped him a little bit, but
He's tell you what, he had all ball there.
he
But
did.
the ball's moving just a
Right,
little bit.
he didn't affect the player's ability to do what he wanted with the ball.
And letter of the law, if you read the case book for our sport, if you're holding the ball as they're crossing the line, it can never be a jump ball. And Judge Gary Pate, our former president of the league, told me that one.
Also a referee, staff for Team USA. Gary's
He's
been with the league for
the
a
man,
long
the
time.
myth, the legend, Gary Pate.
The great color commentary for Rio.
So U of A gets the first turnover of the game with Newby going over the baseline. So if you had U of A with the first turnover there from Vegas, congratulations on the prop bet there.
And Puderbaugh goes way out there.
So Corey gets in the belly box. Gets hit out pretty easily there. They're gonna set, U of A is just gonna set up offense. Corey's gonna inbound, and on Denver's side, they're gonna try to separate Chris Fleece and Chuck Melton is what you're wanting to do.
Right.
Which I think actually they're gonna go over and try to double Josh, which is fine because maybe they want Melton to push the ball and touch the ball. So little cat and mouse game here in transition.
Wheeler pretty happy to break that triple team there.
Yeah, now he's taking 6 or 5 points with him with a 3.5 and a 1.5. That's the right math? Yeah, 5 points.
Now, strategy changing though, since we had the low pointers going
Yeah,
for
so kind of
Corey. So Puderbaugh inbound here to Melton.
Yeah, and that was a win. That was a win there for
U of A. Sure. Well, you saw what Denver wanted to do, and they were able to make them change things up.
Yeah. So you got Mark Peters on for Denver, as well as Jason Regier and Adam Scaturo, which, we talked about that in the open, where we're thinking they probably want that line out there at some point here in this first quarter because it probably matches up a little bit better.
Yep.
But U of A's rolling here right now. They're sticking in this game. A lot of people, I think, thought Denver's going to blow them out.
Denver has been
they
pretty dominant in all the games that we've seen them play. So
they've double digits in every single one of their games in the 4 games that they played this weekend. But I think, when a team's not challenged during a tournament and they get in a tight game, decisions get a little tighter. You get a little bit
it
more
can
nervous.
take a little while to get you into
Absolutely.
the stream of a game like this.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't have competitive games early on, but they broke away.
Interesting enough, too, Chuck Aoki, going for his first national championship since he won a couple down at with U of A, Tucson Pterodactyls. I'm not sure exactly what the team name was called when he won, but
I think he might have played with both those teams before the Pterodactyls broke away.
Correct. Yeah.
Aoki gets across. A lot of manipulation of the defense going back and forth there.
You got
the ball handler.
The Texas boys watching in the stands, and I'm sure they
wanted to be in this game.
wanted to
They
be in
thought
this
they were
game
going
so
to be.
well, and talking with Ray Henniger this morning, and he said, hey, I didn't play well enough for us to be in there. And so you like that. You like when guys take
Responsibility.
ownership.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully he understands that that loss, just like a win, it's a team loss. Directed out of Aoki's hands, so it's not over and back. If he had just dropped it, that would have been over and back. Peters dived right through the middle. Spinning Wheeler.
So our timeouts on the quarter still 4 and 4. No bench timeouts yet. It's U of A's arrow as we head closer and closer to clock management time.
And still only 1 turnover. But this is the level of rugby you want to see in a D1 championship game, right?
Absolutely, and then Melton goes untouched for the score. great job by Chuck Melton there. That's a really good example of the two making a difference in a game where he's able to receive the ball low and then not have to offload it to his high pointers and go and score.
Aoki around Wheeler. Making it 9-9. Just under 3 minutes left in our first period here in the Division I National Championship in Rockford, Illinois, where USWRA.
They're in trouble down here a little bit.
Wheeler's trying to get it. Peterball separates, gives him an opportunity, and he tries to dribble to himself.
He tries to dribble, and
Peter snuck it away. And
right
somehow
back.
Peterball ends up with it again. He got lucky there.
Wild turn of events here. Corey absolutely should have called the timeout originally, and he's lucky to get that back. You know,
was he tossing it forward so it touched the floor?
Yeah,
to
so
12?
he's trying to get over 12, but it's just like his head's down, his tunnel vision on doing it himself and not looking. And Denver just got a little too excited there, probably. Melton's going to give it back. They got 10 seconds to score
Attacking
here.
Peterball. They know the time is
8
coming.
on the shot clock. Gets it to Wheeler with 5 left in the shot clock for a score.
They worked hard for that one, but they did get it.
My goodness.
Got lucky there with that turnover that neutralized.
So now as we're getting closer to 1:30 for clock management, both of these teams have 4 timeouts. They can use a timeout to get last goal. And so really you want to score a little quicker than 1:30, but they don't. They're going 1:30, and we'll see if U of A is smart enough to go maybe a 1:05 here, but I shouldn't be giving away all my secrets.
A minute 34 left in this quarter, 10-10. Yeah, it's nice to have for all the other teams out there who want to think about this kind of thing that haven't. Wheeler throws it up to Melton. Aoki's going to take a swipe, goes right by him to make sure he's over the top of the court. And Peters not only knocks it away, but picks it up off the ground.
Knocks down Melton, and Melton's looking for Wheeler and didn't secure the ball there. He's got to be a little bit more sure-handed there. Turnover there, so we're 1-1 in our turnover situation.
Wheeler could use the baseline here.
Yeah, Corey fights off the 3 and 4 pick, and that's something that Ray Henniger wasn't doing yesterday. When the 3 and 4 man on the other team are trying to beat you, you've got to be able to get out of it. Corey does.
Nice spacing there by Wheeler. They're working down the clock.
Yeah,
a minute 5 left.
Looking to go 5-0, but then Denver's just going to use a timeout, or at least they should.
Corner's open, but Aoki there. Wheeler unable to get to that one with 49.
Corey should have thrown it 2 seconds earlier. He's wide open, and again, he's pushing with his head down a little bit, something they're going to need to talk about at the quarter because they've played really well here in the opening quarter, and the last minute has not gone well.
That's
for
a pet peeve of mine, by the way. But I tell people all the time, don't wait until you're in someone's face to throw that pass. You got to decide before what you're going to do, because it's much harder to pass with them right there than it is to pass 2 seconds before you get there, and 2 seconds before the defender gets to your recipient.
Chuck's just waiting to get the clock down. He's going to call timeout. U of A does not want to get a foul here because if anything, it's a win for them to use a timeout, but they just don't want to get a simple reach to reset the clock without using it.
So that'll leave us with 14 seconds, 11-10 our score. Denver in the lead. They're going to try and go into the first break up by 2.
So it's been a pretty clean game, except when you get down here in the clock management. We've had a couple turnovers, and I think part of that, both the teams are trying so hard to get that last goal because it's so important that you get a little antsy and you get some turnovers going.
And it really matters here for U of A too, because if Denver scores this, then their first one is just a makeup for that.
And Someone's got to come back and get the ball.
Melton's calling Corey back.
Yeah, Melton needs to get the ball in.
Wheeler's going to toss it all the way over to Fleece. 5 seconds left. This one's coming hot.
Well, Mark Peters throws it out of the gym.
Now U of A has the opportunity to maybe take a timeout.
Yeah, that ball still hasn't landed yet, Dave. That thing was thrown.
It went and it hit inside the bathroom receptacle area there. So it looks like they're just going to inbound it and go into the break here for 2 minutes. 12-10, Denver leads. We got 3 more quarters. We'll see you in 2 more minutes. He's not looking our way.
Ready to go?
All right, just in time. You're back for this one. Second quarter of this Division I National Championship, USWRA's 2022 version. Wheeler getting swiped at there by Scaturo. Nice pass over to Melton.
This just in, Josh Wheeler knows how to pass the rugby ball.
I know, but that's dropped right into his hands. I mean,
he's athletic with the rugby ball. So U of A's back out with their same lineup, and the lineup's running really well. I think it's their chance to be able to stay in this game. And it's different. Yeah, you have a guy like Lee Fredette not being able to be on the court, but this is a line that's just working really well and matches up better against a team with Chuck Aoki on it and Mark Peters on it, and being able to spread out the function.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed between those two guys.
I know Chad Cohn just texted me. He's watching back home, and I'm sure he's knowing how competitive he is. He probably has an IPA open watching this game, screaming at his iPad. Don't break your iPad, Chad. Don't do it.
Aoki just gave the nod to Peters. Like, I'm going to send it up there. You just got to get out in front of me.
Aoki's so good at running the offense, and he never tries to do it himself. He manipulates the defense and uses his teammates extremely well.
So Puderbaugh will try and get away from Regier and Aoki.
Yes.
Got a nice pick there from Melton. But Aoki relentless. So cross half and then back to Melton.
Yeah, that's probably a little too quick of a pass. They got lucky there. Peters didn't have his hand up. Mark Peters is a tank of a man.
He is. A fast one. But yeah.
Well, 10 seconds left. Corey doesn't have time. He's setting up and didn't have time to come back for a reset. It's too late.
But Melton opened that corner for him pretty nicely.
He gets lucky there. 7-11's open again there in that corner. Adam Scaturo's got to tighten that up a little bit, and I'm sure he's mad at himself. That's tough.
That was convenient.
I think the 7-Eleven has my name on it because I ended up having a lot of corners open in my play. But it's tough to be that guy in the corner. Everyone's yelling at you, tighten up on the corner. It's like, it's not that easy, guys.
It's like I'm trying to help the guy in the middle, too.
Yeah. It's not like I'm trying to open the corner.
Oh, and the guy in the middle of the key gets trapped to one side. Whoever's on that corner has to cover all that space.
Yeah.
You're going to give it up sometimes. Aoki now with 2 pickers helping him get out. As he weaves through traffic, he's going to try and make Melton go left, and he does.
Yeah,
Chuck tried to anticipate that, right? So
he did. Yeah, he's just kind of waiting.
You're going to get beat otherwise because you got your back turned on the ball handler. It's hard to win that.
Chuck Melton's came to play. He looks good. He's fired up. His wife, Kelly, and his parents, Pops and Mom Melton, are in there ringing the cowbell loud for him.
Wheeler unable to get to Aoki that time. Now you're seeing Fleece get picked out here. Is he calling for inbound? Nope, Wheeler does.
No, which is the wrong call, to be honest. I mean,
Corey's at that half-court line. He's over and back. His wheel was over the top.
Yeah, casters don't count, right?
It was his back tire.
Back caster.
The big one. No, his big one was over the blue line. I'm sitting right on it, baby.
Yeah.
That was definitely over and back.
That's a tough turnover there.
It is a tough turnover.
Yeah.
And he tried to turn back, but he had the ball before.
Here's the thing: is Chris Fleece is back picked by Adam Scaturo, and I would have liked to see him. They're playing so good offensively, and Chris can inbound, and I'd like to see him call that inbound. Don't get cute with what you're doing. You got to be methodical in your offense, and you're back picked by another low pointer. Call the inbound.
Baker and Fredette now in for Arizona, and the pass to Peters missed.
That's the second time Denver is forced a turnover and given it right back. Turnover to turnovers. That's tough for Denver. They could have opened up a 4-point lead. Instead, it's 2 points.
Keeps us close, 17-15.
We want to see a close game.
Absolutely. We want to see a nail biter. Bang, bang. Fredette unable to inbound there.
It's a good timeout. It's a good timeout. You might have had Josh there, but you've got to use that timeout in that situation.
You want to make a pass that you know you can make, right?
Yeah.
We're not in a desperate situation here. It's early in the second.
Early in the second. It's our first time we're seeing Lee and Travis in this game, and we'll see how long they can stay on the court. They've got to do a really good job of being able to pick and roll, being able to be offensive in their mindset as well with their lanes. So we'll see how they do here.
So again, Fredette tries to inbound. He got to Wheeler.
Yeah, Josh offloads it quick, and Corey threw a lollipop.
Baker's going to get blown up. He hangs out on the ball and hangs onto his chair. And we got a foul. Aoki not happy as he goes to the box.
Well, he doesn't like it, and it's. I like the aggression there.
You have to. When you got a low pointer with the ball, you got to make sure they can't get it out.
I said it yesterday,
Force a timeout.
And that's the right move. You either want a turnover, a timeout, or end up in the box. Don't let them get away with that. Because what happens is Travis is thinking about that the next time he's catching the ball. Right. I got absolutely destroyed and hacked and whacked, but you want that in their mindset as an offensive player when you're going down on them on defense.
So Aoki being trapped here by Wheeler as Puderball looks to cross the try line and make it a one-try game. 17-16.
Aoki's going to inbound here, which is what U of A wants because it gets the ball out of his hands for a second. But what happens is they're tripling Mark, and you can't triple. Tripling doesn't work at this level.
Well, they left Regier on the other side for the give and go, and you get the ball in Aoki's hands.
It's a great job. It's a great job by Chuck Aoki, Jason Regier. That's easy. It's way too easy in an offensive possession. Great job by Denver.
Baker has Peterball behind him. He's looking for him. Got it.
Josh tries to pick and roll, but gets stuck, and there's no lane. There's
And
no
now
one.
he's going backward. He likes to go backward, too.
I don't know if you draw up the offensive play like that, but it works.
Hey, that's
And
right.
what'd you say yesterday? A try counts as a try, something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
Doesn't. At the end of the day, nobody's looking back to see if you scored ugly.
Yeah.
Did you or didn't you score
Yeah,
those
Travis
tries?
Baker right there, he's looking for a pick. Defensively, he's got to fill a lane defensively to stop Chuck Aoki. Chuck's been able to score pretty easily this game.
Well, that's a hard equation to solve, right? Aoki scores pretty easily in almost every game.
And that's what U of A needs in this lineup. Lee did a good job inbounding the ball and getting into his lane so he can extend the defense out. He's wide open. They weren't guarding him.
Yeah, he came all the way from the baseline to end up
and
taking that one
yeah,
home.
and that's where the difference is, where they didn't start the game. They came in the second quarter, and they've done a better job playing.
They did a nice job stopping Peters there.
Yeah. Corey topples over, gets a little break. That's what's nice about having trunk and some function in this one. You can get knocked over, lay there for a while, take a break. I don't know how that feels.
As long as you don't bounce your head off the floor.
Corey comes in. He kind of got spun there by Adam. Adam would say that's just a chip. That's Scott Hogstad's line. I just chipped you. That's a spin every time.
Yeah.
It's a physical, rough game out here. These guys, every single player.
They're colliding with
sidelines,
some speed,
on the
making the
court.
turn at the same time.
Yeah,
Guys
but-
are going to go over.
Oh, and everyone wants to win. Some of these guys, they want to win. They want the national championship. They also, and just as much, you want the bragging rights come next
Absolutely.
USA camp, right? There's a lot of
'Cause
USA
they're going to
players
see
out
each other
here.
right here in, what, a month? Less than a month, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks. Be back together. That's a good lane by Lee. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, excellent angle.
That is phenomenal
And that-
angle there by Lee.
Super quick for a one. Peters knocks it down. Aoki catches it and gets the timeout. Whoa.
Paul's timeout. Was he out of bounds? I'd love to see a replay on that one, but
I know, I'm looking at it from here thinking he was probably out.
They're usually gonna give him that timeout, but
We don't really have a camera on that line,
Yeah.
so
that's
it's hard to see from here, but
Yeah.
we're gonna get a replay here. See what we can see. Oh, and a slow-mo replay even.
no, he's over the line. It's a quick. It's really, 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 really close.
You can see he's looking at the ref to see, was I in or was I
Yeah,
out?
And they're usually gonna give you the timeout in this situation. And here's the deal: we've got
Boy, oh boy.
U of A's got 3 timeouts left now. Denver's got 2 timeouts left now. That comes into a factor if the game stays close throughout this game.
Oh, we're only like 45 meters from there or something, right? Aoki gives it up to Peters. Squirting through.
Biggest lead of the
Peters.
game here. And that all has to do with your offense not being sound. That was an offensive turnover there last time. And Chuck Wheeler gets absolutely spun.
He looks like that hurt.
That's a spin.
His arm gets stuck in his wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again. Here we go.
well, it's a spin.
Josh
Like,
is.
he's
Oh, he got spun by Aoki.
right.
Totally got spun by Aoki. Advantage created there.
Well, and here's the thing. There's a couple things here. Is the guy's up in the air and you're not allowed to hit him. So
Absolutely. That's
it's
another.
either a spin or a technical, and I'm sorry, it's the wrong call here. It's either
Yeah.
a spin or a technical. You can't touch a player as he's up in the air. And Denver gets away with one there, in my opinion.
All right, so that penalty ended up being up on Wheeler. And now Wildcats need to climb out of this hole. Peterball stopped by Peters and hung up on the chair.
And just throws a lollipop out there. Chuck misses it somehow. But I think the ball was soaking wet because we got players out here that can sweat quite a bit.
Wheeler helped that. He backed into it at least and made it so that Chuck had to. It wasn't just a super easy.
They're going to get their offensive line back out here, which is the right call. Lee was playing very well. Travis was playing well as too, but you're not getting the offense that you need. And Chuck and Josh, or I'm sorry, Corey and Josh are carrying a heavy load in that high-low line.
For sure.
It just wasn't working out well.
Especially from a defensive perspective. Scaturo there for the try, taking a nice wide line. Wheeler has Melton to lead him. And caught Peters backing up. But just that little pick by Regier made it much more difficult for him to get across. Even though he didn't get his teeth in there, he slowed him down enough that Peters was able to effect it. But good patience there by Chuck.
Yeah, if U of A wants to stay in this game, they've got to stay with this line. It's the only line that's working against Denver on both sides of the ball, really.
Peterball using Scaturo to stop Melton. Got in his favor. Wheeler reaching.
Yeah, Mark does a good job to get the ball up and still moving, so no jump ball there.
He can put that belly over it too and tuck it right in there.
He's got a, yeah.
He's got a ball holder built in. Wheeler gets it up to Melton.
He wants to score fast here.
Peters can't cover both of them. 2:13 left. 24-20, I'm sorry, 21 is our score.
And U of A, absolutely, it's vital that they get last goal here. It's Denver's arrow coming out. So they either want to jump ball or they want to get this last goal for sure, or both, yeah.
Peters picks and rolls. Waiting there for Aoki.
I like that hit from Corey. Mark Peters has more function in the sport than anyone playing. In my opinion, I don't even think he should be playing in this sport, to be honest. And he's that's a good play because Mark can control his chair. He's got full trunk, 1.5 trunk, and I guess 2 hands. And he can control his chair. So honestly, you know, it's tough out there too. These refs do a fantastic job.
When you hit them from behind and get an advantage like that, they're going to call, because otherwise it would have been a turnover.
I'm good with the penalty goal. There definitely doesn't need to be a flagrant. There doesn't.
Nope.
You know, and so.
No, I agree.
But it's you know.
He didn't put him in any kind of danger. Yeah. It wasn't like he couldn't have affected the outcome.
Yeah. And so far in this game, Marianne and Joe have done a fantastic job controlling the spins and hits and.
Newby back in and straight to the box.
Yeah, they're doing a good job calling consistent calls too. They're going to call the reaches. The players have to adapt to that, where they're going to call those. So instead of trying to go for jump balls, in that situation, you're going more for swipes.
So Jake Daly now in.
Yeah, Jake Daly, Newby gets in the game and ends up in the penalty box. He's going to reach a lot.
Aoki getting some rest. Melton and Newby joking a little there. I saw a couple of smiles. So Peterborough will take it across for the 22nd try for Arizona. 1:29 left in the first half.
Melton's got to work harder to get deny position.
Regier couldn't stop Peterborough.
Corey's doing a good job here. Getting that pick and roll. Great job by Eric Newby.
Yeah, great correct block. To Peters.
Mark ruins it. And honestly, I mean, they got Chuck some minutes off, but this is crucial time. You can blow this game wide open by getting last goal and first goal in the next quarter.
Oh, threads the needle there.
So
that was a crazy pass.
It's an advantage for U of A to not have Aoki on the court right now. But I'm sure Jason is looking to get Mark some experience in these type of situations too for his national team in Denmark. So
right, there are certainly things that we might not be considering. Puderball can't get to the corner. Daly stops him. Peters is all over him. He heard you. And wow, Wheeler. That was a great catch.
That was a good catch.
Really had to extend to get that.
If he misses that one, I'm pretty sure Chad Cohn breaks his iPad on that or cracks open his 4th beer of the game.
I know Chad's yelling at that iPad.
Don't.
For sure.
Well, it doesn't matter. If Corey's yelling, it's all ball. And Corey and I will have a chat about this camp. You do not foul underneath a minute, especially when the shot clock was still on.
Yeah, that's not
and now
all
it's
ball.
off.
I'm sorry.
The shot clock was the ball's not located on his bicep. That's called Mark Peters' arm. It's a terrible foul because now UVA can go. Denver can go last goal,
right,
and now they're getting the first goal, and it's a 5-point game instead of a 3-point game. That is a bad penalty by Corey Pudebaugh.
What do you really think, Coach?
No, it's you lose.
No, it's a mistake that's costly mistake.
And internationally, we've lost gold medals because of that situation before.
Sure.
GB has lost medals in that situation before. You've seen it across the board where you just can't. You have to be disciplined.
So we'll go into halftime with the score 27-23. Denver in the lead. We got 2 more quarters of rugby. Come back in 5 minutes and we'll finish this thing up. And all of a sudden it's quiet in here as we start the second half of the Division I championship game. Coach Joe Delagrave here with me. I'm Dave Menden. We are watching Denver attack. They are currently in the lead 27-23.
Yep, and they go up 5, and they're up 5. You know, I got a little fired up. Corey's reached there, but they're up 5.
Well, it certainly made a difference, right?
Yeah. For those
Not
watching,
saying you're wrong to be fired up.
Yeah. For those watching at home, U of A's got 3 timeouts left on the court. Denver has 2 timeouts left on the court.
Daly trying to get it out, also trying to get away from Fredette. He won't. Aoki gets swiped at there by Pudabaugh. Pudabaugh stuck up on the wheel of Newby.
Yeah, Newby he broke the press there at that little pick.
And he actually, when he got Pudabaugh up there, Pudabaugh tried to get off. He pushed forward so he couldn't get off.
Yeah.
Kept him up on one wheel for a while.
Good job by Newby.
Fredette.
U of A went with their high-low line. And see if they can make something happen on defense. They got to have good offense first.
They got to go across half.
Yes, they do. They do, no problem.
Good picks there.
So 15 minutes left in the
Baker.
USWRA 2022 season.
It was an unusual season. There were not nearly as many tournaments. There were not nearly as many teams. But there was a lot of fun, a lot of rugby, a lot of competition. Looking forward to a little bit more normal season next year.
It's been great to get back. It was awesome to see a lot of faces you haven't seen in a long time through the pandemic. And just so thankful for the rugby community, all the volunteers, the sponsors for our league as well.
You know, even the referees and the classifiers,
Yeah.
I mean, they put so much time, they give up work to do this for us. A lot of people give a lot to this sport who don't even get to play it. And you can even go to the wives and the kids who don't get to see their dads because he's at camp or coaching camp. And it's a lot of love in this sport. It really is a community. It's really a family. Even, you know, as you go internationally. So Fredette gets it into Wheeler, and Newby tries to dive in there.
And Chuck's kind of yelling at Jake. He wanted him high in that defense. I'm looking to see if there's the sponsor list there. Trying to give people shout outs.
Somebody asked me about talking about our sponsors, but I didn't get a list. I know that Fusion and Melrose sponsor the USWRA. Those are in here. I know that for this tournament we've got sponsors of the tournament like Ford and Starbucks and Comcast Universal, Google, Vehicles for Veterans, Amazon. Some big names.
And just again, thank you to Oscar Mike,
First Nation Group,
Noah Courier, for hosting nationals. It's a big undertaking and a lot of work, and just thankful for them.
Yeah, the planning that goes into this is just crazy, right? I mean, you got 16 teams. And if you think about how many wheelchairs are here, right? Let's say there's 9 players per team in a chair. 18 chairs per team. I mean, that's a lot of wheelchairs to move around. Hotel rooms, volunteers to run all this stuff. We got the people at the table keeping score and the 40-second shot clock. They're all volunteers. People serving lunches, helping move equipment around. Yeah. It's a big operation.
Yeah.
I mean, even just the video crew here, we got probably 8 people.
Yeah, those guys have been great. Been awesome. putting up with us all week.
And then there's us, right?
Yeah.
Also not getting paid. I did get a lunch, though. I got a
Oh,
couple
they didn't
turkey
pay you for this?
sandwiches. No.
Oh, gosh. I got a bag of
Did
fruit
you get
snacks.
paid?
I got fruit snacks.
Oh. Like I said, I got a couple of lunches.
U of A took a coach's timeout, maybe a little break, catch a breather.
I was going to be here anyway.
And they were able to catch a little breather. So they have one coach's timeout, 3 floor timeouts left. Denver's got 2 timeouts and 2 coaches' timeouts.
Puderball gets by Nagel. Daly gets a swipe in there at the line, but Puderball able to get across.
Again, if U of A wants to climb back in this game, they've got to force someone else besides Aoki to beat them.
Aoki's inbounding, so
which they're doing here, and Josh, Eric Newby does really well to beat.
Now triple teamed. He's also got Aoki right in behind him.
Really good timeout. So what Josh did is baited Newby in towards the sideline when he catches the ball, and then he gets help coming where they have to use the timeout. But great timeout by Eric Newby. That's being patient. That's saying, you know what, I'm beat.
Knowing you're in trouble, yeah.
I'm going to call timeout. Let's go over here, talk about it, maybe get some goo shots, maybe some goo gel to get some energy up. Let's get back on the court.
Stuff is gross.
It is disgusting. I'd rather eat gum underneath the table than that stuff.
But it must do something positive because people still put it in their mouths. Aoki had to stutter there a little bit to get around Puderball, but he does. 34-29. Denver leads University of Arizona. Wheeler across half.
Yeah, good job by Corey. Seeing Josh. Josh has to be patient here.
In the corner, looking for over the top.
Got him.
Puderball.
Denver went back to Mark Peters, Jason Regier, and Adam Scaturo playing with Chuck Aoki, which has worked out well for them.
Arizona sticking with that high-low.
And they're kind of playing their defense right now where they're trying to get it off the inbound. If they don't get it, they're just kind of taking their time back up the court. But you've got 12 minutes left in your season. You're going to be able to play all 94 feet.
Now Wheeler shoots the push. A nice pass there to Puderball. You get the open space, Wheeler can get the ball to you.
Yeah, he's good at throwing the old rugby ball.
Quick in with Aoki, taking his time, and now it breaks
It's just
out.
too easy. They've got to switch something up on defense. It's kind of getting torn up here, and they want to get some turnovers. They're not close right now.
And we're halfway through the third. The sand is flowing out of the top of the sundial, or the hourglass sundial. There's a lot of sand in the sundial. Well played. Wheeler swiped that.
Yeah, he's trying to be patient. They can get a reset. Corey calls for a reset. That's good.
16 left on the shot clock. Gets in his dribble before he attacks. Baker trying to get in there on Aoki. He drags everybody to the right, hoping that'll give him some space.
Gets in with 2.5 seconds.
He worked both Aoki and Peters on that one.
I'm not sure if he dribbled in that either, but
he dribbled over here just before he attacked.
Okay.
I actually called it out.
Really good defense and just a little bit better offense that time, but good rugby on both sides there. We've got subs in the box for you.
Tried to draw everybody to the right. You do. Cadet and Scaturo. Peters will get the try. Baker doing a nice job keeping Peters away.
You read my mind there. That was a fantastic job by Baker. That's textbook right there. Really good job.
Ball looking for his out.
Lee came in to pick. I would have liked to see Lee go to a sideline there, but it works out for U of A.
Getting across half is half the battle. Oh, and Aoki slaps it.
Yes.
Saves the.
Corey's throwing the ball there. Probably not a great pass. Josh is yelling for him to push, which he should have because the corner is open. But these guys are.
And he also threw it low, right? He threw it at chest level. Yeah. A lot easier to knock down than over the top. So you'll see him fire this pass in there.
Corey and Josh.
Aoki sees it, just gets enough of it to get it out of reach of Wheeler.
Corey and Josh are the only players on the court who have not gotten a breather yet. And
drop. Aoki picks it up and
Chuck swipes it out, and that's the difference between reaching for a jump and getting those swipes. They're calling the reaches where you're going in for the jump. They're not going to call the swipes. And Chuck got that one. It's good defense.
And Corey there got up on his front end and had to put his hand or wrist on Peter's chair, and that's a penalty.
Yeah, that was just a tough one there.
Corey's he had to save himself.
Yeah,
he's going to end up in his lap either way.
Yeah, he's playing a great game. Working extremely hard, and as we get into a 6-point game here, it's U of A, I think, has played well and kept it a game for longer than probably most people would have thought.
Still time left. But it seems like they're just chipping away at U of A.
Yeah, taking one here and there. And Denver's down to 1 timeout, but that's the difference. You use your timeouts instead of forcing the issue and not getting turnovers, and you find yourself up more than you do finding yourself down. They use their last timeout there, but again, all their timeouts are gone, but you take a 5-6 point lead and use all your timeouts. You'll take that every time.
And if all of those save you turnovers, that's 4 tries, right? You could 8 theoretically in a flop, right? So 2:12 left. We're at 38-33, Denver in the lead. We're in the 3rd period here at the USWRA 2022 Division I National Championship. Congratulations to Northeast Passage, who won the Division II National Championship just before this game.
Well, it sounds like if you want to win a Division I or Division II national championship, come to nationals with just mustaches on this. And Northeast Passage had the stash power.
All mustache.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys on Denver. Not everyone has participated, but I tell you what, Drew Hoffman and Jake Herning have 100% participated in that.
Fear the stash, it says up there on that banner you can kind of see in the left top of the screen.
Yeah.
Corey Puderbaugh up there and there too.
It should say up there, Fear Aoki and Mark Peters, because they've gotten the job done.
They really
today.
have. Peters is a beast. And Chuck just makes it look easy. I mean, you see he's working hard out there, but
yeah, he's just very patient. His family is
the experience
from the academic world, and he's a smart player.
Flipped his wheel a little bit there. When he made that turn, he pushed on the wheel and it didn't have any traction, but he's still able to get by Puderbaugh.
Shout out to Andy Aoki, his dad, and Jennifer Nelson, his mom, both great people. And
I know I told this story recently, but his mom rescued me one time in Arizona.
Oh, interesting. That sounds like Jen, though. She's a wonderful person.
None of my straps made it to from Columbia to Tucson, so she took me to the store so I could get some new straps.
Awesome.
Yeah. She's always been great to me. And it's always nice to see her at the tournament. She's always smiling. Aoki hits Melton, but Melton gets across.
Yeah, Aoki was hoping he'd get the turnover call. The pylon got
Referee
knocked
shaking
down.
his head. Nope.
And Joe Bongiovanni makes a great call there.
Joe, no middle name.
Fun fact is neither of our refs have middle names.
It's a pretty unique situation.
That is a unique situation. Although Marianne has 2 first names, so she kind of makes up for.
And 2 last names.
And 2 last. There you go.
Wheeler gets it popped out by Aoki, and they're going to say that is a Denver ball.
He must have reached out and touched it. I didn't really see it, but he must have reached out and touched it, and that's unfortunate. But
maybe we can see it again.
You know, at this point, it's kind of an insurmountable lead from a team that like Denver that's going to take care of the ball and score. But
especially when you have that kind of thing going on.
I truly think U of A should have been proud of what they've done in this tournament. They
just to be here playing for the championship was huge, right?
You know, they win against Texas.
They weren't expected to be here.
A really tough Texas team that beat the Ability 360 in a close game this morning to take 3rd place at Nationals. And Peters turned the other way, and Chuck had to yell at him to get the ball there.
At least he heard him. Peters with that.
That's a good catch there by Chuck Melton. Kidding. My goodness.
Coming back for the ball. Peters got the headband because the sweat, so it doesn't get down in his face. Don't really want to use your hands and arms to wipe your sweat away because it'll
I'm not sure why.
The ball wet.
U of A probably should have used their timeout and went last goal there. Denver's out of them, and they have the arrow, so if they wanted a 2-point swing, but they're not going to get it now because we're going to get Aoki trying to go for last goal here with Denver.
Got away from Puderbaugh.
And now he's going to take his time, hold up, melt the shot clock's about a 3-second difference from the score clock.
Scaturo smiling over there as Melton is picking him out. 2 guys drawing it up a little bit.
Sneaked in there and tried to get the ball out, but didn't quite get it.
Scaturo gets back to make the pick that will get Aoki to the line. 12.7 remaining. And with Wheeler throwing the ball, anything could happen.
Plenty of time. They scored way too quick. Get the ball back to Wheeler, and they got time. He's got to realize he's got plenty of time. 8 seconds.
Crowd counting it down. Melton with the ball. Going to try and bust through, and he at the line. Out and in. Scaturo saves that one. Adam Scaturo, number 4 for Denver.
Hooks him there. And
Melton tried to power his way through, got his chair turned.
We'll be back with the 4th quarter.
Yep, we got 2 minutes. We'll see you for the finale of this one. All right, here we are, the final quarter of rugby for the 21-22 season. This is the Division I National Championship. Arizona with the ball. Denver with the lead, 42-35.
Yep.
Coach, what do we do here? How does U of A?
Well, it helps that Aoki's on the
back
bench
in.
and not on the court, so that helps.
A lot.
Um,
Daly with the ball. Hammered by Puderbaugh.
and he throws that. It makes a great pass there, but that's
Wheeler quick to get back, keeps Peters out. Peters now going to take his time, pull out, reset.
Jake did a good job there of taking both those hits and getting the ball off his lap before a turnover happened.
Newby runs into Fleece and goes up on one wheel. And now he's saying, I got the corner, I got the corner. But it's Daly in the opposite corner.
Good patience there from Peters. Great post by Daly. Score back up to 7.
Puderbaugh was looking to pass there, but changed his mind, and now that's definitely a foul. The referee could see that from behind.
Yeah. So you can see it on the replay. You can see that there's Corey's grabbing his arm, but if you're in the cylinder of the player, they can grab your arm.
Absolutely.
That is a foul every time on Jake Daly. But he's keeping the pressure on. I like it. But right there, they grab the arm. That's a foul on Jake because he's in the cylinder of the player.
Puderbaugh gets that try. (43-37) our score. 7 minutes remaining in this game. Wheeler looking at Peters. Coming around the outside is Newby. Puderbaugh stops him at the line. And up to Daly.
Yeah, Corey Puderbaugh and Chuck Melton hitting Mark Peters, and he went nowhere. That guy is a tank.
Brickhouse. Wheeler looking to throw over the top, changed his mind. Everybody's in a pile. All he's got is Fleece. That'll work. And now he's got the pick from Fleece, too. Peters pounding those Pistons. Puderbaugh drops it, but picks it back up.
Yep.
He gets the try.
And Denver, you've right here. You're up by 6, up by 7, depending on the score when you're scoring or when you're on defense. And what they don't want to do is they don't want to hit any of the U of A players on the line to get a flagrant or something cheap where they get them back in the game. So they just want to score patiently.
Trading tries here.
Exactly. Nothing. Don't do anything stupid on defense.
That won't work for Arizona, though.
And you're 6.5 minutes away from getting
They
your
can't
second.
trade. They need to create a turnover, chip away at this lead. Wheeler with the hit.
Good pick and roll there.
Yeah, great. So Wheeler will take that one across. 45-39.
And Melton's got to play some good one-on-one defense if they want something.
And Daly waving. I'm throwing this one. Newby sees it.
Little St. Louis Spartans connection. They were all coached by former USA assistant coach Sue Tucker. Shout out to Sue for all her work she's done with St. Louis rugby, with USA rugby.
Yeah, she's made a huge impact both in St. Louis and for USA.
Absolute phenomenal human being, great coach.
Peters trying to bring it across half. Gets
She's-
around Fleece, tosses it ahead.
She's
to
a
Daly.
huge Cubs fan too.
I lived in Wrigleyville for a little while when the Cubs were awful, but for $5 I could go and sit in the sunshine, drink a beer, and there was baseball happening right in front of me.
Not a bad day.
No, it's only 2 blocks away. Those were the days, Joe. Those were the days. I could walk then. That's how long ago that was. 30 years, 30 and a half.
They're getting an eye from not letting Peters touch the ball first, and they do there, but Melton has a tough task with guarding Newby or Jake up high.
Well, you have to take some solace in the win there. That if you're keeping the ball out of the hands of the guy that you want to keep the ball out of the hands of.
Yeah.
If you can keep doing that, you can make things happen. But they certainly have to create something here. It's not just going to come to them. So 4 in the key. I'm not sure which one's going to the box. Looks like it's Peters.
Mark Peters. Denver doesn't like it, Jay. Jay thought he was out of the key at that point, but yeah, as a rugby player, you always think the ref's wrong. And again, Marianne and Joe have done a great job, and as well as all the refs. This we can't play the game without the referees that take time away from their jobs.
I heard one of the referees say there's 12 refs on the court right now.
It's everyone just trying to help them do their job.
Yeah, we want them to be successful too. We appreciate everything they do. 4:59 left in this game, 48-42.
You got Chuck back on the court. Josh O'Neill's playing for the first time in this game.
Josh on Josh over here. Good hit there by Wheeler.
Yeah, he turned and caught him at the right time, but when you're got all that function, you're gonna plow right through that. Chris Fleece is back picked by Jason Regier, calling inbound. That's the right call for him.
Mass times velocity there. Fleece looking at Puderbrow, trying to give all kinds of nonverbal communication with that head, but nobody's responding.
Yeah, they had to call timeout, which is the right call, but
Fleece was trying to direct.
Fleece trying to get over to Melton. Melton needed to get down lower quicker so he can get the inbound a little bit easier, but
easier said than done sometimes, right?
yeah, I mean, you know, Melton's played a lot in this game.
Get trapped up there.
Chuck and Josh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Aoki, I'm sorry, Corey and Wheeler have not came off the court today. They've played well. They've played as
well. This Denver team is stacked. You know, they came in here as the favorite. They've dominated every game they've played.
yeah.
To be in it as long as they have and still, you know, be potentially in it, it's a win.
One of our championships with Phoenix, with Jim, Nick, Scott, myself, and we had Ernie and Joe coming off the bench. And
Jim from
2015,
UK?
Jim from UK. Beat every team by double digits in one of the championships. And I think I'm sure Denver wants that too. It's something that's a fun thing to say, but it's always fun to go through some of these championship teams and go like, who would it be who? And you know, you have the Riley era with Sharp, and you had Lakeshore's era where they went to 10 national championships in a row, won 5 of them.
I remember talking to Chuck Aoki in Phoenix, and he was going into the final with Minnesota, and they had no business being in that game.
Yeah, they gave us a run for our money.
He said to me, I said, what are you going to do? What you got? He says, I've got a plan.
Well, and that was a game
He did have a plan. I mean,
yeah, that was a game where they forced Nick to carry the ball a lot more, and Ernie ended up being the man of the match there, where he had it because it was, you know, he knew that Jim and I were going to carry the ball, and that's what you do. You want to put the ball in the and where you know the other team doesn't want to put the ball. So, yeah, they did a good job. And
yeah, that was a lot tighter than anyone expected. It was fun to watch.
Aoki's taken a lot of teams to the title game, but hasn't won since he's been down in Tucson, Arizona. So I'm sure this will feel good for him too. And Jason Regier, kind of an end cap in his long and successful career.
Is this Regier's last game?
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? It'd be nice to go out on top, I'm sure.
I heard somebody say that he said he's going to hang it up after this as a player.
Yeah.
If so, that certainly would be a way to end a
Yeah.
stellar career as a player. So bringing it up are the Wildcats of the University of Arizona.
And again, shout out
Fleece
to
opens up that corner. Chuck Aoki trying to get through, and no try.
Yeah, he wasn't even close. A shout out to Phyllis going in the Hall of Fame, and we miss her dearly. And classifier that unexpectedly passed away. Nick Springer as well, who passed away last April, and Derek Helton all received their Hall of Fame plaques this weekend.
Derek on the bench here, right? Derek.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite teammates.
Huge impact on Team USA as a player, as a deuce. I remember when he was young in St. Louis, and we would play against them. And just learning the game, but you could see that he had something special. We had a lot of games with St. Louis over the years in my 22-year career. A lot of close ones.
Yeah.
And, you know, as Newby and Melton came along, Sue Tucker really took them up over the top, and it got to the point where we couldn't compete with them.
And what Newby and Melton did, and Sue and their teams, is they went to tough tournaments that they got their butts kicked in.
Yeah.
But they went there and they got better. And so, you know, a lot of times it's not necessarily that you're winning tournaments; it's that you're at tournaments that are getting you better. And so, if you know you're a new athlete trying to get better at the sport, it's just being around this higher level. It's not always about winning at the Demolition Derby or winning at Michigan's home tournament. It's getting better throughout the year and then getting nationals and kind of showing.
You're not learning a whole lot when you're beating up on other teams.
No.
Hudabah got a flat. We'll call equipment. 3 minutes left. 3:07. 53-45. Hudabah will get a new wheel on his chair. They're looking for one.
Right now we've got 7 USA players on the court that are on the team currently, and so there's you guys are all brothers right here, and Travis Baker, who's on the Low Point USA team, headed
Really
to the World
excited to
Games.
see that Low Point tournament.
They've got camp coming up here with Coach Curley, and yeah, it'll be exciting to see. It'll be fun. It's great for the sport. It's the first adaptive sport that's been in the World Games ever, and so that's pretty neat. And you know, Lakeshore Foundation, Jeff Underwood there were helpful in getting a version of wheelchair rugby in the World Games. So that's going to take place in Birmingham, Alabama, July 14th through 17th is when the games will be played for wheelchair rugby there.
This is the first time this variant, the Low Point game of at least the WWR version of it, will be played, right, internationally as a.
In this big of a spotlight, yes. They've had international tournaments throughout the years. I'm not sure exactly which Low Point variant was.
Well, I know,
but
like,
yeah,
you know, you've seen the Defee one up in
Yep,
Canada.
yep.
And
Montreal there, but
obviously
yes.
they're happening over the U.S. all the time, but. And now we got another equipment. Something's wrong with his wheel. Do we call that the same equipment? Are they going to be forced to use a timeout?
Let's get this taken care of. I've got a 3-hour drive ahead of me, so
Looks like that's Helton's wheel he's getting put on there because it says Derek on it in very large letters. Thanks once again to the sponsors who made this tournament possible, that make the USWRA possible. You know, the league, the business of the league is done again by a bunch of volunteers on the board and people who help out on committees, etc., and our sponsors. And without that structure, we wouldn't be able to do things like this. We wouldn't have this level of competition. USA wouldn't be able to be the only program in the world that's medaled at every Worlds and every Paralympics.
yeah, you're absolutely right, Dave. Under 3 minutes left.
We've ducking under Scaturo a couple of times. He needs to get the ball up court. Gets it to O'Neal.
Good grab by O'Neal there.
O'Neal a deuce. That international classification.
Yeah, it sounds like Denver will not be in the running next year for a Division I national title. It seems like a lot of players are moving to different spots in the country for next time. And
well, I guarantee you'll see some of these players in that next national championship game, whether or not they're with Denver.
I don't think you're wrong there.
Spaturo leading. He's watching the chair of Puderbaugh as Aoki comes up. Cross to O'Neal.
And O'Neal gets through the defense just barely, and then Corey and Lee run into each other.
2:08 left in this final game of the season.
Look, you've seen quite a few games in this court. He was your MVP for the tournament.
Division I? Boy, you know, it's hard to look past Aoki. Wheeler's had a great tournament. I mean, for me, your MVP has to make the biggest difference on a team, right?
Does
if
an
you were to
MVP
take that
has
guy
to win?
out,
Does an MVP
No.
have to win the tournament?
not in my mind.
I don't think so either.
I think if
don't
they
think
make,
so.
if
Yeah.
they are the difference maker for their team, to me that makes them the most
Yeah, and
valuable.
it's usually easy to see that from the high point position because they take up a lot of points.
Yeah.
They're scoring a lot of goals. I mean, Aoki's Aoki, right? And Mark Peters has played very well. He's been, you know, a great supporting role here and getting him off the court in some breaks. But, you know, guys like Lee Fredette, guys like Chris Flees, Jason Regier,
Absolutely.
Adams Getzer, like those low pointers have played massive roles in this outcome in this tournament. And I don't think you know, if Alex Pabon wasn't on Texas, I don't think they're as close either because he played phenomenal.
As far as a difference maker, I mean, his team would not be the same without him. You know, one of the reasons that I lean toward guys like Aoki and Wheeler is that they're on the floor all the time, right? They don't get any break. What happens if you don't have that guy? Great grab by O'Neal to get across and hang on to that ball.
Dropped it, but kept it. He pinned it to his chair.
Yep.
The ball's not moving. That is equal to having it in your possession.
It's in control.
Yeah.
We got that from the baseline. That'd be really nice.
Adam and Josh are the same Class 1-5s and compete.
Loses it, picks it back up,
picks it
and
back
with his
up.
hand on it on the picker, that is
Another-
control of the ball. You can have it pinned against your wheel and get across the line as long as it's in control.
U of A's equipment crew working overtime there.
So the Wildcats will attack the key of Denver.
Just a quick shout out too to our board, USWRA board, with their volunteer work. Dave, you did that for a long time as our commissioner, and it is a thankless job, and it's something that the league doesn't run without it. Just thank you guys to President.
You know, the fuel that makes that run is just appreciation.
Yeah.
You know, when people came up to me, and it didn't happen often, but it happened often enough, where somebody said, hey, you're doing a great job. I appreciate what you do. That fueled me for a whole season, if I, you know, a couple of 3 times in a year. So, yeah, if you're listening out there, if you appreciate the things that are happening, say something to your board members, say something to volunteers on your team. A lot of times the volunteers, you start taking them for granted because they're so generous of their time and their efforts. Just make sure that they know you appreciate them.
So you're saying being kind, thankful, and gracious is a way to go in life.
Just like you should in all life,
so.
right?
I think so.
Absolutely. And I know that I'm not all the time, but I'm always striving to be better. Aoki gets it from Newby. He's going to try and squeak in here. Scaturo setting the pick.
Well,
Wheeler
congrats
gets his
to,
hand, but
the Denver Harlequins. And Jason Regier has been in that program for over 20 years, probably close to 25 years, him and Adam. And Jason has done a lot for Craig Hospital, a lot for the city of Denver and the Adaptive Sports Arena. And he's a quiet, humble leader.
and as a USA player, he's an impact player as a low pointer.
Has a servant heart, and just great to see him. If this is it for him, going out on top, but it's hard to stay away from this game too.
I don't think he's going to be away from the game, but maybe as a player. And you know, I see that just because he retires from play doesn't mean that he won't be in his chair showing people things. You know,
right.
You'll see him again in a chair, if nothing else, in Denmark or in Denver working up that next team. If this Denver team were to separate all these guys at the top level, there's a bunch of guys coming through Craig Hospital or that want to play that, don't make the roster that makes this trip.
Well, 20 seconds left. They're up 9. Are they going to try to get a turnover here to get the double-digit deal, or?
Well, I think Arizona is going to want to try and score one here. 20 seconds left.
Congratulations to the University of Arizona Wildcats as well.
I don't see any of these guys resting on what's going on here. They're all going to give it their all right up to that last moment. Wheeler's got Fredette. He leaves him.
He's got to get a dribble in.
He's got 11 seconds.
Fredette
gets it over with 8.8 left. It's now an 8-try difference. Aoki calls for inbound. And look at O'Neal going over the top. He wanted him. You could see him.
Yeah, he's going to give him again here.
He hoped to get the cherry up there up the top. He's got Newby. Puts it in his hands. Crosses the line just before the buzzer.
There it is.
Calls the game. Congratulations to both teams. University of Arizona saw some great games with them this weekend. And Denver are national champions for Division I in the USWRA for 2022. Heck of a season, heck of an opportunity. Will you see the handshakes here?
Yeah, well played. Smiles from both teams. Great game. Great sportsmanship.
I really enjoyed doing commentary with Joe. Thank you for sitting with me.
Absolutely, Dave. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you next year.
I'm sure we will. Back in September. Training season starts tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.